So I wanted to just sit down with you guys and explain why I'm actually not going to be using Claude Code for my existing AI voice agency. So this is just going to be a bit of a sit down video explaining my reasoning behind that. Because I know there's a lot of hype around Claude Code, and it's not just hype, to be clear. It's been making waves for very good reason. It's an amazing tool. But I'm going to just explain why I don't think it's a good fit for an AI voice agency at this point in time, and why I would actually be sticking to building systems using n8n or any sort of other visual automation builder. So obviously, if you're someone who's been building AI voice agents, you have probably been using something like n8n or make.com, for example, or any equivalent. Now, the reason why these tools are so strong in this regard is because they are super visual, and you can build them from scratch, step by step, and you can see exactly step by step what is happening during each call. And that makes things like debugging the system so much easier. And also for showing clients, if they ask how it works, you can just open up this super visual thing that has every little node step by step, and you can just explain it to them how it works in a really nice way. Now, another reason why n8n is so good for an agency model is because if you're in a specific niche and you're selling the same types of voice agents between different clients, it's super easy to take the existing template, because you can download it as a JSON file, upload it for another client, and then just tweak it and adjust it for their specific needs. So let's say that you're targeting the plumbing niche and you're serving plumbing businesses, building them AI voice agents. Then once you have the main template set up and you've tested it and it works, then from client to client, you can just download the base template, and you can copy and paste it and adjust it and tweak it for the specific client. Whereas with Claude Code, that's really, really, really hard to do. You can't really just copy and paste it. It needs to build it out from scratch using code each time, and it gets a bit messy. Another thing with Claude Code is that it's really, really hard to debug, especially if you're not technical. So things are going to go wrong, as they always do. Anything involving code or complex AI voice agent systems, something is always going to go wrong. And if you're building out all of the backend using Claude Code, if you're not technical and you're not able to read through code and be able to identify those fixes and make those changes, it's really tricky. Now, obviously, you can take the errors and feed it back into Claude Code for it to kind of debug itself, but it's still imperfect. It still requires some level of technical expertise. You need to kind of go back and forth, and you need to have quite a high level of kind of problem solving to make that work, if that makes sense. Whereas with n8n, because it's got these pre-built integrations and everything is set up step by step with these super visual nodes that you can click in, you can look at every single piece of data going into the system, exactly what happens with it throughout the system, and then where it leaves the system. So you can look at the data, see where things are going wrong, and then make the adjustments super easy. Whereas with Claude Code, the waters are a bit more muddy, if that makes sense. It's quite hard to pick apart exactly what's going wrong and where, and it's harder to see that data stream going through for you to be able to actually identify where the issue is. And the other thing is that ultimately the outcome is kind of the same. It's just with Claude Code, you can build these systems quicker and faster, absolutely. And it does take a while, especially if you're building systems from scratch. It can take quite a few hours or even a few days to get something working properly. Whereas with Claude Code, you can tell it what you want. It will then give you back a list of things that it needs, and then it will go ahead and build the system completely by itself with minimal inputs, and it gets it done really quick. But apart from the time saved, the outcome is still kind of the same, especially for AI voice agents, where ultimately, if the system works, then the system works. How you built it doesn't make a massive difference. So even though Claude Code might be faster, for all of the reasons I mentioned before, the outcome is still going to be the same. It's not like the systems you build with Claude Code are going to be so much better and work so much more smoothly or efficiently. The outcome is still the same once you have it working. It's just the process of getting it working is different for each one. So in terms of practical takeaways here, what I would recommend is this. If you're an agency and you're building these systems for clients, then for the actual voice agent build, like the back end, I would stick to n8n. I really would, for all of the reasons I just discussed. However, if you have additional automations within your business that are not the client-facing voice agents, let's say like a lead scraping tool that you use to scrape leads so that you can call these leads and sell them your voice agent, and that's your own personal in-business automation, then using something like Claude Code might make sense because you can get it done much quicker, much more efficiently. And in that case, I think that's something that you could definitely consider. But for all of the client-facing automations, I really think Anyten is the way to go because you can replicate the templates really easily. You can debug really easily, especially with things like voice agents. I mean, like going from testing something by yourself to actually implementing it into a business and having real customers interact with the systems, you're going to have to do a lot of iterating and improving and debugging. And with Claude Code, it's just so much harder, like seriously, so much harder. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I just thought I'd make this video because I know for myself, as Claude Code is developed and it's kind of taken off, I really had to sit down and test it out and just consider whether this is something I want to use for my own agency. But based on what I've tested so far and what I've seen other people get in terms of results as well, I really think stick to Anyten, guys, like for your voice agent builds. Obviously experiment with Claude Code for different automations within your business, but for the client-facing voice agents, stick to Anyten. That is my personal opinion, that's my recommendation. Obviously do what you want. But yeah, I think that's all I had to say. I know this is a short video, but I thought I would just make this for anyone out there who's maybe confused, they're maybe worried, you know, they've learned all of these skills on Anyten, they're not sure whether they should jump over to start to use Claude Code for their voice agents. But take it from me, if my opinion has any sort of sway on what you do, stick to Anyten, basically. Okay, I hope that was useful. I know that was a quick one, but yeah, I'll see you in the next one.